is the target thing, and this one second. For my dreams.
Any experiment that was done in the 60s and 70s, which was really, really good, would be touted today as still really, really good. And most of it we don't hear about. It's just it died, probably because there was some flaw or it wasn't all that clean. And that's the problem with a lot of parapsychology research. It comes up, makes a big splash, and dies away because it's looked at a lot more closely. And so much of the parapsychology research in dreaming, especially, is in the cold fusion category. It looks real great at first until it's put under the sterile microscope and ticked away and nothing's there.
I think that it is difficult to replicate results in anything in parapsychology. This is probably the major reason why parapsychology has not made a greater impact on mainstream science. There really is no one single experiment that can be replicated on demand. And so I think that skeptical scientists certainly have reason to be doubtful.
The more interesting research is being done in terms of what is the brain doing? What's the necessity for dreaming? We know that we have to dream. When we deprive people from dreaming for a couple nights, they will display psychotic-like symptoms. And so we know for some reason the dream has to take place, and that everybody does dream, even though we don't remember it. But it's a very new field. It's in its infancy, and we just don't know a whole lot about it.
Can we communicate telepathically through dreams? With the help of Rita Dwyer and members of the Association for the Study of Dreams, Mysterious Forces Beyond traveled to Vienna, Virginia, to document an informal demonstration.
I love dreams because they're practical. That's what I do. I say, you know, we do it every night, why not use it? And we have so many dreams that come through, and as a person watches dreams, we find that the meaning that come to us help us to live better. And that's why I believe in watching my dreams and encourage other people to watch theirs, just so that we can live better, more fully, more completely, more harmoniously with others. There's something so wonderful about being a dreamer that puts you in touch with everything and everyone.
Rita asked members of her dream group to act as receivers in a long-distance dream telepathy experiment. Dr. Robert Vandecastle was the sender for the experiment. A well-known author and expert in dream research, Dr. Vandecastle has been involved in dream work for more than 30 years. The target photo, chosen at random by a non-participant, was of a baseball pitcher winding up. On the designated night, Vandecastle concentrated on the target photo, trying to telepathically send the image from his home in North Carolina.
I will be in my best efforts trying to get into and become that picture in whatever way it takes to become the picture. And I'll try and keep continuing to do that for as long as I can until you just get too tired that night. I'll go to bed. Hopefully I'll be able to dream about the picture. If I get up there in the middle of the night for any reason, go to the bathroom or anything, I'll go back and try and re-energize and get into the picture that way.
While Dr. Vandecastle focused his efforts at sending the target image, the receivers went to sleep in their homes at various locations in Virginia. Each receiver wrote down their dream as soon as they awoke. They did not communicate with each other or Vandecastle until they gathered at Dwyer's home on the designated day. For much of the night, Dr. Vandecastle concentrated on sending the target image, and the receivers slept, waking from time to record their dreams.
I'm hoping that someone will receive the target picture just with perfect clarity and be able to describe that. That's what I'm hoping. I'm also realistic enough to know that perhaps they won't, because people dream in their own dream language, and dreams are very personal.
There's no more evidence that telepathic dreaming works than there is for any other kind of dreaming, for precognitive dreaming that works. Unfortunately, the average person doesn't use the same standards of evidence that I use or that most scientists use. The average person uses their own experience rather than a controlled study. And individuals in general are very susceptible to thinking that their own experience is the greatest form of evidence on the planet. It's the shakiest form, actually.
A few days after the experiment, the dreamers gathered to learn how successful they'd been in receiving the target image sent by Dr. Vandecassel.
Who feels that anything in their dreams would correspond with this?
There's a man being carried out on a stretcher, and it was like the last stretch for you. And he puts his hand up to wave, and I thought in my dream this man is having a heart attack or something that they were carrying off, and they all were yelling and cheering him on, saying they would be with him.
I have a question. Do you know the name of that particular guy?
Yep. On the back it says his name is Kevin Stuck.
Oh, you're kidding!
Your son, right?
This is the son I dreamt about.
Your son's name is Kevin Stuck?
Kevin!
Oh,
So I dreamt of soccer, and it was not that, but the name of the team was Vista, with the V. And I dreamt of the young man's parents, but his number on the team was 20-something, but I can't remember what it was. But
well, this one I would say is 25. There's clearly a
but I
2,
don't know
and I
why
would say the others are
Andrew,
5,
and
25.
Andrew was tall and thin like that.
A soccer player kicking a soccer ball to his right. His left leg was curved in front of his right. It looked like a stamp, similar to the one the post office is selling now for the World Cup.
So this one to me is a very solid hit.
I was hoping for a direct hit, and we came fairly close with one dreamer dreaming of the men and boys playing ball in a field at a gathering she was at. We also had the nice soccer stamp kind of hit, and while it was not a baseball game, it was pretty close in terms of the posture and the stance. And there were lots of people who picked up on sports aspects of golf and swimming and the uniform part of it, the changing clothes. People picked up little parts where they could fit in, where they could tune in, the things that felt right for them.
The people getting the results are the people who are the believers. Well, science doesn't work that way. Research in science, which is the good stuff, is the stuff that's looked at by the skeptics. The good stuff that stands the test of time is the stuff that's torn apart by people who don't want to believe in it, and it still stands. That's good. But if the only results we get in dream research is gotten by the people who are trying to prove something, and not by people who don't want to accept it, then it's not very legitimate.
There are many things in science that are not well documented, but as long as you have some degree of documentation, you look at them. You might not take them seriously, but you don't dismiss them all out of hand.
This is a normal human talent. The majority of people, if they want to, can develop these psychic skills of dreaming.
I think that all of us have special abilities. I think that all of our abilities are unique, and certainly the ability to dream and remember dreams is very special and very useful. Certainly, Rita has developed her dream recall to a very great extent, and it's something that other people could do as well and could use dream information for very practical, useful, and creative purposes.
I see how this could, this could lead a person to believe that dreams are special in some way, in some prophetic way. But in fact, when you think about, okay, wait a minute, I didn't just dream that last night. I dreamt all these other things, and I think of all the times I've dreamt in my life, and things haven't been followed by subsequent confirmations that I didn't put too much stock in it.
I would be delighted to see Maimonides' research replicated in further experiments, but we kind of proved it. Over and over and over again. It became really kind of tedious to prove the same thing over again. Now it's time for a new generation to explore how dreams can help creativity and intuition. And I think that's very likely where it's going to focus.
While psychologists and parapsychologists debate the result of psychic dream research, believers like Rita Dwyer continue to explore the strange and uncharted world of dreams to learn more about the workings and the power of the unconscious.